Mark, it's fair to say, let's not hide away from this. There's a massive amount of discontent amongst the fans at the moment. Um, how difficult is it for you personally and wider for the players and the club?
Yeah, we're obviously aware of that. Of course, we are because we know the position we're in. We know that even recent performances have not been good enough and up to our level of standard of what we've shown in the short time I've been here as well. Because we've shown lots of good things, but recent performances haven't warranted that, and we're fully aware of that. Uh, but we're all working hard. We're working so hard behind the scenes. Everybody is together. Everybody is driving forward. We've got clear objectives of what we need to do every day once we come into the building to obviously turn this around. We're fully confident that we can do that. The players are working hard. But yeah, listen, we are really aware of what the situation is, and we're really focused to put this right quickly.
It's interesting, isn't it, Mark? Because we've talked about players not playing with that anxiety and that fear. Um, you can't manage with it either. You can't be in charge with it either, because ultimately your job's on the line as well down the line. I'm not saying right now, but ultimately it's your responsibility. The buck ultimately stops with you from a team perspective. So it must be so hard to not have that anxiety and not have that pressure that any human being would feel.
Yeah, of course it's there. Of course, that's the business we're in. That's the industry we're in, and we understand that. We understand that as a group. We understand that individually, and what we need to do is focus everything towards what we can control, and we can control what we do on a day-to-day basis in and around the club. We can control and how we approach the games, and how we plan and prepare for the games, and how we prepare the players to how we want to play, how we look at the opposition, and how we source all our information to give us the best possible chance to be prepared for the game. So we can control all them. Obviously, there's the fans are outside of their opinion of what they feel and things like that. We can't control that. All we can control is what happens on the pitch, and we're driving every day and clearing how we want to play and approach the game to get the result on Saturday. That's ultimately what we're driving towards this week. Every day has been a good day as regards to the information we want to give the players. The output from the players is there, and even today in difficult conditions with us having to change training times a little bit to get us on the pitch, we managed to come through that and get the work in needed where we can continue our preparation for the game.
And one thing that there's also a balancing act between aggression, commitment, passion, and discipline. And that's something that's got to be kept in check, hasn't it, with things that have happened recently?
We've had two instances of ill discipline from us, and it's cost us. Let's not shy away from that. We can't shy away from that with the players. They know my feelings on that. We spoke as a group, and yeah, ultimately we're paying the price for them to lack bits of discipline where we lacked control. So yes, we have to have focus and drive and aggression, but I always say we have to have controlled aggression, and we need to control our emotions on the pitch and not retaliate when things happen. And yeah, we're in a position where we've lost two players now, two influential players within the team, and we're having to deal with that. But that's a situation. What's happened, we can't change that now, and we have to find solutions for that, and that's what we've been working towards all week. I knew in my mind after the game that would be the case. So all the time I've been focusing on, okay, what's the solution? This is a problem. What's the solution, and how we're going to approach that from a selection and team point of view, so we can get the best possible chance of getting the 3 points on Saturday.
Have you found the solution?
Yes, found a solution. We've been working on that. Like I said, throughout the week, we always work on different scenarios, different personnel, and we rotate players around. But ultimately, we have an idea of what we want to do. But it's kind of making sure you tick every eventuality what might happen, and we've managed to do that well this week. A little bit of disruption today, But like I said there, we managed to get onto the grass today, which was good. And then we've got tomorrow as well to kind of finalise all the finer detail in the preparation.
Mark, head coaches and managers often shy away, wrong choice of words, don't want to say the next one's a must-win game, but there's no getting away from it. I mean, it's a must-win game and potentially a must-win 3 games.
Yeah, we know the pressure, what's on us. We know what's at stake. We want to do that. We want to control it and see what it is. And at the end of the day, it's a game of football where 3 points are up for grabs. That's what it is. And that's what we've got to focus on. We've got to make sure the players are prepared, of course. There's no getting away from building the game up because, everybody around the club and the players will build that up, and that's natural, and that's what it is. But it's about us controlling ourselves, being clear on how we want to play, and then ultimately then it's getting the players to go out and execute that on the pitch. And that's what we're aiming to do.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.
Cheers.
With your defensive woes at the minute, how are Dean Lewington and Anthony Stewart getting on? Yeah,
they're both coming along well, both at different rates. Dean's in training now and joining in with the team. He's been out for a long time, so he's joining in training with the team, which is really, really good because to have his experience around the group is a different. It's a different feeling to it. His experience, his leadership qualities are there to be seen, and that's something we've missed over recent weeks. Those leadership qualities, and that's no slight on anybody in the team. I think certain players within football carry those traits better than others, and Dean's certainly a leader, a captain, very vocal, and that influence on the pitch is really, really helping us during this week's worth of training where we have to work on certain things. We have to bring the group together. So to have him back in training is really, really positive. Anthony's on the pitch with the physio. He's not kind of joining in the group sessions as yet. He's just working with the physio, building himself up. But again, steps towards getting more players back is a positive for us.
Is there a temptation sometimes to want to rush these players back? Obviously with your shortage of numbers at the back, having Dean Lewington available and in your starting lineup on Saturday would be massive for you.
Well, Dean, like I said, he's back in full training now, and he's been back in full training for a little bit. So we're going to see how each day goes with him. We assess things after the session, before the session, and then we see how he feels. At the minute, he's feeling really, really strong, so that's really positive. Like I said, he's very influential with his football abilities on the pitch, for sure. But like I've touched on earlier, I kind of said his leadership qualities are what really, really stand out for me, and they've been really, really beneficial for me as a head coach and for the team as well during the week.
Obviously, with a game against Cambridge, a team that's very much in and around where you are, there's no easy games either. But when you're both scrapping, it could be it's make or break for both sides really.
Well, they're in the same boat as us, and as are the teams who we're playing now. So we know this round of games are really, really important. You talked about the anxiety and the nervousness around it. Well, you've got other teams feeling exactly the same. So I think it's how we cope with that, how the players cope with that, and how we support them around that is really, really important. The fans play a massive part in it by getting behind the team. I know, like I said in recent games, we've not given everything to cheer about, and rightly so, that they kind of vent, and that's their right to do that, and we need to acknowledge that as well, and we need to put things right. But again, from minute one, I have to echo that we need the supporters, we need everybody together. That's kind of been my mantra throughout my time here, that there's going to be ups and downs in this process. It's never going to be smooth sailing. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be difficult times. It's how you navigate through those kind of choppy waters in those times, and how you come through them, which will hopefully help us achieve our goal at the end of the season. And we're fully confident in doing that, and the processes we've got in place to achieve that game by game.
And what sort of threats do you expect then from Cambridge?
Well, I was over at the Cambridge Morecambe game with Robbie on Tuesday. They're a team in the same position as us. They play a formation where we know how we can deal with their threats. We know how we can exploit where we feel are their weaknesses. But again, there'll be a team who are fighting for their lives. You know, they'll be rolling their sleeves up. They'll be aggressive. I think they'll be front foot. I think they'll be scrapping for every second ball and looking to win the game, as are we. So when you're in that position, there's no easy games. There's no easy games, and they're a team who are fighting the same as us. So I expect a really, really competitive game. I expect a physical game as well. But ultimately, we have to go and try and impact our style on the opposition, particularly here at our home stadium, where we want to try and control the game. We want to do that, and we've got ideas of how we want to execute that on the game day. But I expect a tough game against a full-blooded team who are up for the fight, and we've got to match that, but we've got to kind of surpass that as well, and that's what we aim to do, and hopefully get the 3 points.